Hey, how's everybody doing? It's Friday, January 20th, 2012. And let's see what's going on today. We got a little busy in the store. Fridays are always a little hit or miss, but today, we got a little bit of reports of snow. It's not supposed to be anything. Flurries, maybe, and it's not even supposed to stick, or maybe an inch or two. But something like a supermarket, and you get people panic. So when the S word comes up, and people panic. So it always gets busy, and if it does snow tomorrow or into tonight or into tomorrow, whatever, it's gonna be even worse. People like they go cuckoo. I don't know what it is. It's like it never fails. People think like 10 feet of snow are gonna be dropped on the ground overnight, and you're gonna be stuck in the house for 3 weeks without food and not be able to survive. Like it's just this weird mentality. I don't get it. I never will. So. And so in a supermarket, so we hate that word. I don't like that word, snow. It's a four-letter word, Usually the F word is a bad word, but in this case it's the S word. Yeah, I mean we've been lucky so far. Hopefully, maybe nothing will come. Who knows? But it's just so weird. And you get people they run and they buy like bread and milk and water and stuff like that, and canned soup and things like that. A little bit they buy that stuff, but mostly they stock up on junk food. It's like, oh, we got to stock up on food, and that's what they're buying. They're buying junk. It's chips and cookies and things like that. Like, and that's just that weird mentality. It's just so dumb. And then again, pile that on top of this weekend. You have more NFL playoffs, and again the Giants won last week. They beat the Packers, and now they're playing the 49ers. And if they win that game, they go into the Super Bowl. So that's going to add to it as well. So you have, again, people like to have their playoff parties or whatever, and so that'll add to the craziness. So this weekend should be real interesting. Needless to say. What else I want to talk about? A really great show premiered this past Monday. Is it executive produced by J.J. Abrams, who was co-creator, producer on a bunch of shows, but one including the show Lost, which I know if any of you guys were a fan of that show, I love that show. 6 years of watching that show, I thought it was amazing. And of course, J.J. Abrams has gone on to direct, he directed the last Mission Impossible movie. He was producer on the current one. He was producer on Cloverfield. He directed the new Star Trek movie, and Super 8 he did. And next Star Trek movie, I think, he'll be working on that soon. But his new show, which premiered on Fox, called Alcatraz, and stars a bunch of other sort of new talent. But then you have Sam Neill, who we know from the Jurassic Park movies, and Jorge Garcia, who was in Lost. And basically, the idea is you have in 1963, Alcatraz was shut down, and all the prisoners were supposed to be transferred to another prison, but that didn't happen. And one by each week's episode is going to deal with a new prisoner coming back. And the weird thing is, all these prisoners, they haven't aged. They look the same as they did in 1963. And so you have this team that's been kind of put together in the pilot to sort of deal with this. And these are, I don't know, I think it was 60 plus of like the worst criminals like ever now coming back and being unleashed, on, the world today. Killers and rapists and all kinds of, like, just nasty people. And, why are they coming back? What happened to them in 1963? And it's like one of these things it goes kind of back and forth to, like, now and flashes back to the 60s. And you get a little bit of information each week, and little by little, as to, like, what happened to these inmates. And it deals with also the prison guards, and they're involved, and people that ran the prison at the time or worked in the prison. And it's really started off well, I think. You guys should definitely check this new show out. I think it's going to be a huge hit. I think it's going to have a really big following. And so that is that. And then we have, I just came back from the movies, and I'm sorry if, again, I'm talking about movies again. But I do that a lot. I watch a lot of movies, so there's going to be a lot of movie talk. I just came from the latest film by Lucasfilm called Red Tails, which is about the group of pilots in World War II that were the first African American pilots. There was a previous film years ago done called the Tuskegee Airmen, which also dealt with this. But this is, it showed how there was the prejudice and all that stuff, and in some cases the big brass, the big guys in Washington kind of wanted this to fail. It was, it was an experiment. It's like, well, let's see if they can do it. But the way of thinking back then was that, Negroes are all cowards, and they can't fight. They just run away. They're unfit to fight in our war. They're not good enough. They're lower life forms. And it's a very good movie. And some good acting in there. You have Terrence Howard is in it, and Cuba Gooding Jr. But the main cast is younger talents, newer talents, and they're very good. All your sort of main characters have good sort of personalities to like or dislike, and they're all interesting. There's no character that's really boring or anything, which is good. And there's all they hit all the usual marks of, like, one guy has a love interest, and one guy gets injured, and this, and will he survive, and all this, blah blah blah. All kinds of the things we've seen before in in movies like this before. Nothing new, nothing really spectacular, like, oh, we've never seen that done in a movie. No. There's a lot, cliche things is what I'm getting at. And it's just, there have been so many movies made. To make something that's completely original is hard. But this movie, it's good. And if the Force is with Jesse, if he's watching this, I'm going to try not to say fun about 16 or 17 times. So if you're watching this, not saying that word. Just a little inside joke. Check out the comments on my last video, and you'll understand what that means. Anyway, so I really enjoyed it, and the one thing that's very good is the aerial footage. Lots of great dog fights and aerial fights and whatnot, and it was very entertaining, and I think historically accurate. I would guess. I don't know. From what I heard, there were a lot of real Tuskegee Airmen that were on set and were were there to see that things looked and were done right. And from what I've heard, it was done very accurately. So we'll see. But definitely a good flick to check out, and it's, you know, worth the $10-12 to check it out. So I would definitely recommend it. I don't, and so yeah, so that's that. So hit all my points, and I'm gonna get this up, and a little later tonight I'm gonna try and film another figure review for you, but that may not get up until sometime tomorrow. But hopefully I can at least get it done, and filming it is the harder part. Uploading takes just a few minutes, so at least for me. I don't know, you know, I don't know how long it takes you guys to do your videos, but that's probably because I don't do any editing. I just do street shoots, and that's it. But anyway, before this goes on too long, I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you guys had a good day today, and I will see you tomorrow. So long.